Here, watch this clip. Now, what if I told you this was made all the way back in 2008, and all this insane camera work was animated in 2D? Is your mind blown yet? Or maybe you're a little bit dizzy, who knows? At this point in time, Studio UFOTABLE is basically a household name, having animated Demon Slayer and Fate, some of the best looking anime of all time. They've even done some adaptations of video games, if only their logo design looked as good as their shows. But to this date, there's a certain anime that I've never been able to forget, something that not only looks amazing, but has touched me on a deeper level. This is Kara no Kyoukai, the Garden of Sinners, the UFOTABLE masterpiece no one talks about. Kara no Kyoukai is a series of 8 anime movies plus an epilogue, but the light novel was originally written in 1998 by Kinoko Nasu. He's the same person that created the Fate franchise and the wider Nasuverse. Don't worry though, because you don't need to know any Fate lore to watch Kara no Kyoukai. It was actually one of Nasu's first works, and it doesn't include anything about servants and Holy Grail wars. Instead, Kara no Kyoukai is about Shiki Ryogi, a girl that acquires mystic eyes of death perception. She works for a small agency that deals with supernatural cases and such. That's all I can really explain without really getting into spoilers, but I do have to say that the mystic eyes of death perception are one of the coolest powers ever conceived. Basically, it allows the user to perceive conceptual death lines on any object or living thing. Tracing these lines will instantly kill anything, with some caveats because Nasu likes to break his own rules. For instance, if I were to tell you Fate is about a battle royale where 7 masters each summon a historical figure and they all fight to get a wish from the Holy Grail, all those statements are technically wrong, but the thing is about Fate is that even if it looks confusing on the outside, it's not that bad when you're actually watching it. On the other end, Kara no Kyoukai is a different beast. Allow me to explain. First off, I need to give a bit of a fair warning that Kara no Kyoukai is not for everybody. It deals with some dark and disturbing topics like the R word and the self-unaliving word. Secondly, the series is told in a chronological order, which can be a bit confusing at times. Thirdly, the series is a bit of a slow burner and it can be a bit avant-garde at some parts. I kid you not when I say there's literally a shot where it's just the main character eating ice cream for 1.5 minutes. Yeah, we'll get to that later. Now, if you're willing to step a little outside your comfort zone and give Kara no Kyoukai a shot, you may be pleasantly surprised. The first thing you might notice is how beautiful the show looks, even though the first episode was released in 2007. We all know UFOTABLE for their amazing animation, but nearly every shot in Kara no Kyoukai is just an amazing piece of art. The composition and the art direction are simply stellar. It's astounding how UFOTABLE always manages to make timeless anime no matter what source material they pick up. Next, I want to go a little more in-depth with the story. As I mentioned before, the show is told out of chronological order, but even within some episodes, the events are all out of whack. It might take multiple watchings to fully understand what's going on. You'll then start noticing how certain plot points interconnect. This sort of puzzle the story presents expertly mirrors the same chaos and confusion that the various characters have to deal with. Of course, the main character is the one at the center of all this. As we, the audience, are encouraged to solve the puzzle, we can more immerse ourselves in her growth. In a sense, we're supposed to discover more about Shiki as she discovers herself. This is why there are so many slow scenes. It helps cement into the audience how each character is feeling. See, at its core, Kara no Kyoukai delves into deep, philosophical themes such as nature of identity and the ethical implications of choices. Through its characters and their interactions, the series raises questions about the human psyche, morality, and the blurred lines between good and evil. Additionally, the story often blurs the boundaries between reality and the supernatural, challenging the audience's perception of what is real and what lies beyond our understanding. Even having watched the series at least 3 times, my mind always melts when I get to certain parts. This exploration of existential and philosophical concepts elevates Kara no Kyoukai beyond the lowly world of entertainment. This makes it a reflective and intellectually stimulating experience. Okay. I'll end my pretentious rants. To be honest, you don't even need to understand all the underlying themes to really enjoy this show. There's no shame in being a lazy ass like me and just watching an analysis video or, looking up the chronological time order. Now, onto the characters. They are the main focus of the series. Usually an episode is structured thusly. There's some sort of supernatural problem caused by a baddie, so Shiki has to defeat them in some way, and then, all the characters learn some sort of lesson. Or sometimes they don't. It gets weird. It's a simple formula, but the character development in Kara no Kyoukai is a masterclass in subtlety and complexity. Each character, whether central or peripheral, is endowed with a rich backstory, desires, and inner struggles that contribute to the narrative's thematic depth. Remember that ice cream scene I mentioned? Well, what if I told you it's actually genius? You see, when I first watched it, I couldn't help but be amused that UFOTABLE put so much effort into animating this. I mean, there's so much detail in the movement, but actually, this moment of quiet introspection actually holds deep symbolic and thematic significance within the story. Let me explain. The act of eating strawberry ice cream may appear insignificant at first, but it serves as a sort of microcosm for Shiki's complex personality. You see, Shiki is characterized by her dual nature. I won't go too much into spoilers, but she suffers from a split personality. This series is extremely heavy on its themes of duality, oftentimes having the yin-yang symbol just everywhere. Now, the choice of strawberry ice cream, a sweet and refreshing treat, is then juxtaposed against Shiki's enigmatic and sometimes deadly abilities as a literal death machine. Through this scene, the series underscores Shiki's internal struggle to reconcile these two aspects of herself. She's also able to reflect upon her experiences earlier in the episode. Additionally, the act of consuming ice cream can be seen as a metaphor for the fragility of existence and the transient nature of pleasure. Ice cream melts quickly, just as moments of life pass swiftly. Shiki's contemplative demeanor while eating the ice cream reflects her awareness of the impermanence of life, and her ability to perceive death lurking beneath the surface of reality. This existential awareness ties into the series' overarching themes of life, death, and the blurred lines between them. But wait, there's more. The scene also serves as insight into Shiki's relationship with Mikia Kokoto, the one who actually buys her ice cream. Mikia's unwavering acceptance of both sides of her different personalities, is highlighted by this continual offer of ice cream. As Shiki struggles with her dual nature, Mikia's unconditional acceptance reinforces the idea that he values her as a whole, encompassing all of her aspects. This contrasts with Shiki's internal turmoil and self-doubt as she grapples with her own complexities. Mikia's consistent presence offers a sense of stability in Shiki's tumultuous world, where her mystical abilities and existential questions often challenge her sense of self. Okay, so maybe I'm looking into this scene a little too deeply, maybe I'm stretching some things, but the point is, this show doesn't waste anything. The extended scene of Shiki eating strawberry ice cream is far from trivial, just like every other scene is just crucial to understanding the plot and characters. And what's your reward for sitting through all the setup in the episodes? Yep. A mind-blowing fight scene that looks as if it was animated this year. I know unlimited budget works as a meme, but the animators in the digital team are way too talented. Don't even get me started with the music, man. It has such a haunting and fantastical aura that perfectly encapsulates the show. To be honest, all of Yuki Kajiura's songs are amazing. They all have that special something that never fails to touch my heart. And of course, the battle scenes will never fail to get you hyped either. Even with Kara no Kyokai's slow moments, it's still such an emotional roller coaster, and the music really brings the world to life. While Kara no Kyoukai has gotten some exposure throughout the years, I feel like it's mostly just people who are into Fate and the Nasuverse. I mean, that's how I heard about it. I saw this random ass character in Fate Grand Order and thought, who the hell is this? Is she some historical Japanese figure? Nope, she's just part of a completely different show. I think one of the biggest reasons this show isn't well known isn't just because of its avant-garde nature, it's also because it was like really difficult to watch legally until recently. Blu-ray sets go for a hefty amount, and it wasn't until 2018 that you could watch it on Crunchyroll. I mean, if you could call that recent. Man, the years have flown by. So yeah, that's my explanation on Kara no Kyoukai, an absolute hidden gem. It's one of the first anime that UFOTABLE really went all out on with how their 2D and digital team worked together. As I said, this show isn't something everyone would be able to enjoy, but I do encourage you to give it a chance. I feel like a lot of Kinoku Nasu's works don't get much attention if it isn't Fate related, and it's a bit of a shame. Stuff like Mahotsukai no Yoru and Tsukihime helped serve as sort of prototypes for the world he was building. So if you want something a bit more avant-garde and thought-provoking, feel free to watch Kara no Kyoukai while eating some good old ice cream. Maybe then, as you watch the ice cream melt in your cup, you can realize the fleeting nature of life and how nothing really matters in the end, and how you're just a tiny speck in the universe, and how death is slowly approaching, and how your life is confusing, and how you don't know what comes after, and how